Hello, everyone. Welcome to this very special dialogue at the Crossroads. Today, we come together here not with a fixed agenda. We are here with an open heart and shared curiosity towards the same theme of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and what it really means to live life inside out. We're honored to be guided by Douglas, who will share his experience and offer reflections along the way. He will hold the role of an elder in this conversation. And I'm also very honored to be joined by two inspiring women who carry their own unique perspective. And I would love for us to take a moment to introduce ourselves so we can get a sense of who's in the circle and what really brought us here. Let me just begin. By the way, I am Kathy from the Philippines. I've been traveling for, let's say, living abroad for 10 years now. And what brought me in this conversation is that I'm always, I caught myself every time speaking with people in a very unexpected way when it comes to like belongingness, self-awareness, self-acceptance, and what it really means to live life from within. So these people felt like lost in life. But then that also gave me the understanding and reflection that an ongoing journey learning to embrace all parts of myself is also part of it. And it continues to grow within me as I travel and talk to these people. And being in these spaces like this reminds me that we don't have to walk in this path alone. There's wisdom in listening to each other's stories. And now, Eva, would you like to share something about yourself?
Sure, thank you very much. I'm very happy and excited to be here. So, I'm Eva. I'm from Russia, St. Petersburg. Basically was born and raised there nearby. I started traveling quite young. I was 14, so I did modeling as a teenager, and I went to Japan, South Korea, China, Italy, and that lasted for around 3 years, these like on and off trips. So that gave me the first like idea of what it feels like to live in another country, to try to adjust to a different culture. That was very interesting, and I guess at that point I realized that at first this is something I definitely want to do more of because it opened me to the experience, but also that it could be quite challenging. It could be not entirely possible to like fully fit in. So yeah. Then I also had a chance to go to Brazil when I was doing my exchange, and I guess until I was 27, I was still pretty much living in St. Petersburg. And then I decided to give it another shot and go to travel. So I went to Asia. I started with Bali and Thailand very briefly, and then I came to Vietnam. There was no plan, no expectations. I knew very little about this beautiful country, and I just randomly ended up in Hoi An, which I'm immensely grateful for because I was blessed to meet wonderful people. Douglas, Kathy, like I met a year ago, basically. So Hoi An, yeah, it's probably the first place that made me want to stay, and it did feel like home. And so here I am still now. I decided to move here for some time. We'll see where life takes me. But yeah, as Kathy said, such conversations, like all the conversations I've had with people here were very insightful, both in terms of like help me understand more about myself and learn the stories of others. And I greatly appreciate this opportunity to have another conversation with you guys. Thank you.
It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Eva. And let's hear from Marie.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Marie. I was born and raised in France, but my parents are Vietnamese, so I am what we call the Viet Kieu. And I grew up with both cultures, so Vietnamese culture at home and the French culture outside. And at some point in my life, I think I wanted to experience what it is to be a Vietnamese because it's part of my origins, it's part of my roots. And I've been traveling for 8 months now in Vietnam with my son, who is 12, and he is the one who had this idea to explore our origins. So here I am in Hoi An, exploring my identity, kind of. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here because my job is I am a soft skill trainer and a professional coach. So actually, I think my job is what we are going to do right now. It's like having a discussion, trying to explore the insight from of a person to see how this person expresses itself and how it shows from the outside. And it's always interesting to understand the world and understand the people around us. So I'm very happy to be with you guys.
Yeah, so this dialogue isn't about chasing the right answers, but about being honest and, you know, curious and open to whatever comes. So yeah, together we'll just see what unfolds. So I would love to invite Douglas to introduce himself and share some opening reflections as he holds the elder role in this conversation.
Thank you all for coming. And I've spoken with each of you individually in the past, so I have a sense of the kind of conversations that we might generate. And so I was very pleased to say, okay, let's experiment to see if we can create a dialogue and actually make a video of this so that we could potentially pass along some of what we're sharing together. At the age of 55, I decided that if I just kept doing what I was doing, I would work my way to retirement. And I decided to take a year off and travel would be something that I had wanted to do most of my life. So at the age of 55, I became a backpacker, and I traveled through Southeast Asia, India, and Central America. And at the end of that year, I wanted another year, but I wanted, instead of traveling, to locate somewhere, and I chose Vietnam to be that place. So getting near the end of that second year, I'm kind of on the fence. Should I stay or should I go? And what happens to this experience? Does it fit into my life? And, you know, a lot of questions. And somebody said, well, did you decide to abandon your career? And I said, no, actually, I didn't. And they made the suggestion that I try to do my career as a psychotherapist in Vietnam. So I said, okay, I'll give it 3 months. I'll find out if that works or not. I went to Hanoi. Within 2 weeks, I had both a teaching position at a university, teaching Introduction to Psychology, and Family Medical Practice hired me as a psychotherapist. And here I am, 15 years later. I've been practicing as a psychotherapist ever since. And in the meantime, I wrote a book, which is part of what's generating this discussion. It's called Living from the Inside Out. Actually, it has 3 parts. Part 1 is called Begin Within. Part 2 is called Alone Together. And part 3, which I want to reference in some of our discussion, is called The Needs of Childhood and the Tasks of Adulthood. So I'm sure this will come out in the conversation we're having.
I have a question, Douglas.
Yeah.
Like, when you felt like the sense of wondering has come to an end, have you had that inner conflict within yourself, whether should you continue, should you go back to your old life, or will you step towards a new life, but, you know, which means like stepping into the unknown? And, you know, our minds always gives us all of these questions, all of these doubts and fears. Have you experienced that, and how do you deal about it?